I've had ransom messages, people really sharing their thoughts and opinions in a horrific way. I'd like it all just to stop now. I don't want to do this anymore.
If it was your child missing, do you want someone sugarcoating something, or do you want the truth?
It might be something that sort of entertains him a little bit. Obviously, the problem with that is that this isn't any entertainment for us.
It's entertainment in that way, in terms of putting a puzzle together and trying to work out what's gone on.
In March 2024, Jack O'Sullivan went to a house party in Bristol and never came home. None of his things have ever been found, and his family just have no idea what's happened to him. They've struggled to keep Jack's name in the media, but one area where Jack's case has never gone quiet is online.
There might be a uni student serial killer, and I know this sounds crazy, I know this sounds insane, but just hear me out.
They did it to protect the devil.
How someone can just vanish into thin air.
So I think we're getting some pretty solid clues here.
There's hundreds of thousands of videos about Jack on the internet. TikTok, Instagram and YouTube are full of theories from mediums and psychics to internet detectives. This is the story of Jack O'Sullivan, the boy the internet is trying to find.
I think we're here. Yeah. Down here? Yeah, that's right. Oh my gosh. So it's 7:20 and we're on our way to Bristol to go meet Catherine and Ben O'Sullivan, which is Jack's mum and older brother. And it's now been a year since Jack went missing, and Catherine, Jack's mum, has said herself that she feels as though the media is the only way to kind of keep Jack's name out there. So it'll be interesting to talk to her about the way the role the internet has played, and whether she thinks that that's been more helpful for them as a family or more harmful. Jack's case has kind of like blown up online, and I've just searched his name into TikTok, and you can literally see there's just so many videos about him. There's people looking at the CCTV, there's psychics and mediums, there's like true crime TikTokers talking about it. So I just can't imagine how overwhelming that is for like the family to look at. I might text. How long does it say in there? 16 minutes, okay. I'll message her.
Just after 1:30.
Yeah. Yeah, just pop that
Is that okay?
in there, yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
There we go. Can you just talk us through what happened on the morning of March 2nd?
Sure, okay. Well, I woke up at just before 5:30 and I just sensed that Jack wasn't home. I sent him a WhatsApp message saying, "Where are you?" And I didn't get a response. Rang and no answer. Jack doesn't not come home. He doesn't not communicate. And he's a good lad. I just knew something wasn't right. The police came, took a statement, didn't really seem that concerned. And I guess for them, a large percentage of people in this position do turn up because they've just had a late night or they've stayed at a friend's. But for me, I was frantic. I really did think that there was a big problem. So that's how it all began.
Are you filming?
Yeah.
Perfect. Do you want me to just...
Yeah, put the mic
On the inside?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
So this is the Hot Wells area, which is where we know that Jack was at the party, somewhere in this area, but we know that he left this and walked down towards the water, so we're just going to go that way and kind of walk his route. He walked along this road and across this bridge, and he was caught by CCTV on that camera there, and you can literally see the exact spot where the camera picked him up.
Jack then walked on the other side of the water, back towards the way he came. It's not really known why he did this. His mum thinks he was trying to get a taxi.
So after Jack looped around the whole basin, he went across this bridge and he ended up on that bridge over there. And it was actually Catherine, Jack's mum, who found the last footage of him walking across that bridge at 3:38 in the morning. And after that, he just completely vanished.
The public at points have just stepped in and I wouldn't say taken matters into their own hands, but they've offered an awful lot of support, which we've been so appreciative of, because we just weren't getting it from the police, really.
And how active are you kind of on the Facebook page? Is it something that you look at regularly?
Well, I was very active on it. I mean, at times it's very overwhelming, in a good way and unfortunately in a bad way. So I've had horrible messages, I've had ransom messages, I've had mediums and mystics sending me messages, but I'm not going to ignore it, as hard and as painful as reading some of it is.
And when we were kind of doing some research before, I got in contact with one of the mediums that I think had been posted on there, called Mary Lawton Johnson.
Oh, okay, yes.
And I just wanted to know if she'd been in contact with you.
Yes.
I am a spiritual and physical medium. Currently, I've been on the Jack O'Sullivan case since like July.
A great friend of ours and myself would set about almost daily following places that she told us to go. But it was becoming very random. You know, we were jumping location, we were jumping all sorts of quite wild theories about who had kidnapped Jack or what, you know, where he'd been buried. Well, I just felt it was out of control.
But I feel his body is snagged on something. Okay.
Oh, on the way out to sea?
On the way out, and it's near a wooded area, woodlands.
Mary told Catherine that Jack was dead and would wash up along the River Avon. It just so happened that a few weeks later, a body did wash up around 20 miles from where Jack was last seen. But it wasn't Jack.
Am I 100% correct all the time? Hell no. Who is?
But do you not think that could have been really upsetting for Jack's family?
It may have been, you know, it may have been. But when Spirit has a message, you know, they want me to bring forth, I bring it. And I assumed it was Jack I was talking to, because I have a lot of recordings. Like, I have a Jack O'Sullivan album with hundreds of recordings of Spirit talking on there.
Okay, so when I first spoke to Mary and Catherine, I actually had no idea that they knew each other. It was a complete coincidence that the person we were speaking to was actually a medium that Catherine says has sent her these really detailed and graphic messages. And from just being in the room with Catherine, it is so clear to see how much these messages have impacted her and her family. So we're now going to go back to Mary and kind of just see if she feels at all responsible for making Catherine feel that way.
I mean, I don't sugarcoat anything. Okay, I can present it in a loving way and sugarcoat it, or do you really want to know the truth? You know, I mean, I'm not one of those, hold your hand, honey, let's talk about it this way.
Yeah, but do you not think that when you are dealing with someone like Catherine, you should be a little bit more empathetic or soft-spoken?
I probably was not thinking in those terms when I was talking to her. Graphic, maybe. Hard, maybe. If she says I'm ridiculous, I'm sorry. You know, you don't have to believe. I don't charge. I do this out of the kindness of my heart. I do. And it's not for attention. It's really sad. I hope she finds the peace she's looking for.
No, that's all right. How you doing? I'm Ben. Nice to meet you.
Ben is Jack's older brother and has also been contacted by mediums online. So far, he's not spoken about how this has affected him, but he's agreed to meet us at a local pub.
How has this affected your mum and your family in different ways?
That's been mentally very damaging. I know mum's receiving these messages and I know she can't ignore them, and but it's also about getting a balance, because I don't want to upset her by telling her to dismiss these things, because why would you? You can't ignore these. If there's any glimmer of hope that there's something that's going to lead to information, then you've got to take it seriously. I think every day, who's going to message today and what's she going to read and what she's going to see that's going to upset her.
What do you think actually motivates them? Why do you think that they involve themselves into like someone else's tragedy, really?
Yeah, I find that hard to get my head around. I think a lot of it is attention, and it might be something that sort of entertains him a little bit. Obviously, the problem with that is that this isn't any entertainment for us.
It's not just Mary posting about Jack. There are hundreds of others. Internet sleuths and armchair detectives post content daily. Charlie Bourne is one of those people.
Your son vanished, get over it. This is what people have been saying to the poor mother of Jack O'Sullivan.
She has nearly 1 million followers and has covered Jack's case.
Sounds probably a bit morbid, but I think a lot of people do like true crime just because it's interesting and people find it, entertaining to watch the videos. The word entertainment can be taken in like a negative light, but also a positive light in that it's obviously causing eyes to be on the case. So I feel like it's entertainment in that way, in terms of putting a puzzle together and trying to work out what's gone on.
I get what you mean, but should putting these puzzle pieces together be left up to the police who are actually trained to do that?
I think that police are so underfunded. I think they're understaffed. I think they've got so many competing demands. Hundreds of thousands of people online are better than one small police department who are only working on a small amount of information. So I feel almost like an obligation to, get involved and like try and help them out.
Regardless of what Mary or Charlie's motives are, the outcome for the family is the same. An increased amount of attention, a flood of horrible messages from internet trolls, and in some cases, hope. Hope that Jack will come home or that someone knows what's happened to him.
Is that the calendar from last year?
Yeah, he literally had just turned it into March.
Yeah.
Because it was March the 1st. Honestly, everything's just frozen.
And when you come in here, do you just sit?
I just sit on this beanbag. I literally sit here and just try. I've had these mystics say to me, you'll be able to connect with him. And I think, will I? Okay. But I'm not. So I just feel as if I would get a sense that he's no longer here. But I don't get that at all. I really, really don't. If somebody said to me, if I had to, stake my life on, do you think Jack's still somewhere? I'd say 100%.
Jack's been missing for over a year now, and despite there being a £20,000 reward, there's been no leads or information that have actually led to something concrete. And I think it's clear to see just how much his family want him home, and they also just want answers as to what's happened to him. So I really do understand why, if someone's coming to you in your darkest moment and telling you they know exactly where your son is, why you'd entertain it, because it might have seemed far-fetched to others, but it's just that one bit of hope that they need, that their son's still out there. So I really do understand why they're kind of listening to everything right now.
Missing People Charity told us public speculation, online sleuthing, and the spread of unverified theories can cause real harm to both the investigation and the families desperate for answers. We urge the public to trust official sources, avoid speculation, and think carefully before sharing content online. We approached the Avon and Somerset Police, who told us, throughout our investigation, we've always taken an open-minded, transparent, and evidence-led approach with a shared aim of finding Jack. Over the past year, we've been in regular contact with Jack's family, including in person, over the phone, and by email.
What would your message to Jack be if he were to be able to watch this?
Yeah, I have hope and faith and optimism that Jack will watch this. Jack might come home. We're desperate for that to happen, and we're ready for it. We're just, desperate for this to have a positive outcome. As much as we are realistic with everything, you've got to live with hope. So that's why we keep doing this.
If Jack was to be able to see this, it would be the best thing ever. Whether he wanted to see me or not, I don't care. Just the fact that he's somewhere. And I would just want to say, wherever he is or whatever's happened, could someone just let us know? Because it's so debilitating, the pain that my family are in. And Jack wouldn't want that, I know that. So my message would be to anybody, and Jack especially, just let us know you're okay, he's okay.